Alright children, so now let us proceed with our chapter of the machines. So now in the last class we have studied about the levers, right? First order, second order and third order levers. So now in this time we are going to study about the next part, that is the inclined plane. Okay, so let us try to understand what is an inclined plane. Now we often might have seen that if there is a truck like this, okay, and we need to put some heavy rolls over this truck, what we are doing? We are just using a slab like this over which we can roll it up over here. Okay, over this we can roll it up and put it over here. So this is called as an inclined plane. Okay, this thing is known as an inclined plane. All right. Okay. So this kind of things like a ramp in hospitals, road going uphill, or anything which is in this shape through which a particular thing can be rolled and taken in an upper height, and that kind of objects or that kind of things are called an inclined plane, which comes under simple machines. Okay. Now there are some applications of inclined planes also. Suppose we can call it as a nail. Okay, a nail is like this. Okay, so we can hammer it from up and it will easily go inside the wood or the wall. So you can see over here two inclined planes are there which are joined together like this. Okay, so this kind of two inclined planes together are called wedge. What it is called? It is known as a wedge. Okay. Alright. Next is, you might have seen a screw. Okay. A screw looks like this. Okay. This is also an application of a wedge, which is an application of an inclined plane. Alright. Then drill bits, jar lids, these are all kind of wedges. Okay. You might have seen, to stop the doors we are using this kind of thing so that the door will not open up from here. This is also a kind of wedge that we are using in its use for an inclined plane. Okay. So this was all about wedge. Now let's proceed up to the next part. So what is the next part? The next part is known as pulley. This is known as pulley. Now you all might have seen how a pulley looks like, right? A pulley has a circular disc like thing like this. It rotates from the center, and from its one end a weight is put, and from one end it is pulled. Okay. So this is a pulley which you are commonly seeing over the wells and all, by which we are pulling it and bringing up the water from the bucket. Okay. Alright. So now next let's try to understand how many types of pulleys are there. So the first kind of pulleys, there are basically two kinds of pulleys. One is single fixed pulley. Okay, so what is a single fixed pulley? Let's try to understand this. Okay, this diagram which I have made here, this is of a single fixed pulley. It's this joint that from which it rotates, its axis of rotation is fixed with a wall upstairs, with a wall or a rod upstairs, and this just rotates like this. Alright, so in a single fixed pulley, the distance moved by the load is equal to distance moved by effort. So why we can say like this? If we say that this is the effort and this is the load, then here to here will be the effort arm and here to here will be the load arm. Okay, then distance moved by this will be equal to distance moved by this. Okay, for example, if you want to understand this, suppose if this corner, this is fixed in the center, and how much distance it will move from this side, that much distance only it is moving this side also. You can see this distance move and this distance moved are equal. Okay, so therefore we can understand here, if we want to find out the mechanical advantage of this, what we will do? Mechanical advantage is equal to effort arm divided by the load arm, and since both are same, say if this we say as R, then this also is R distance. So therefore what we will write? R by R. That is, its mechanical advantage is how much? 1. So mechanical advantage 1 means it will neither multiply the force nor multiply the speed. What it will do? It will just change the direction of the force applied. Means if we are applying, holding here and applying the force downwards, this will come upwards. Okay, so it is just changing the direction of the force. Alright, so now let us see the next part. Okay, that is one more way we can find out the mechanical advantage. That is, mechanical advantage is equal to, we can also say it is load by effort. Okay, so how much load we will put in this side, that much only effort we have to apply. So therefore here load is equal to the effort. So that means both are same. That means here also we can prove that mechanical advantage is 1. Okay, now let's talk about the velocity ratio. What is velocity ratio? First let me explain. Velocity ratio is the distance moved by the effort arm divided by the distance moved by the load arm. Okay, so we can see over here once again, if this end is fixed from here and we will move it down like this, then this distance, suppose D we are taking, then this distance also will be D, right? The same distance it is moving from each side. Alright, so distance moved by effort and distance moved by the load are equal. So therefore we can write velocity ratio is equal to distance moved by effort divided by distance moved by load, and since both are same, so we can write d by d, that is 1. Alright, so how much we got? Velocity ratio also we got 1, and the mechanical advantage also we got 1. Alright, so therefore what will be the efficiency? We have read about efficiency earlier. What is the efficiency? Efficiency is equal to mechanical advantage by velocity ratio. That becomes 1 by 1 into 100. So that is 100% will be the efficiency. Alright. So that is how it's all about single fixed pulley. Alright. Now we will come to the next type of pulley. Let me erase the board. So you can turn the page. There are some uses of single fixed pulley. Single fixed pulley is used for changing the direction of the effort in a convenient direction. We have read about this earlier. Now we will talk about a single movable pulley. Okay. The second one is single movable pulley. So first one we have read about single fixed pulley. Now we are learning about single movable pulley. Alright. So let us see how its diagram is. It looks somewhat like this. There is a pulley over here which is supported with a string from here, and one more string is over this side, and from here one weight is dropped, and from here we are putting the load. Okay, this is the tension force and this is the tension force, and this tension force is equal to the effort. Okay, so that means, let me explain to you now what is this. Now this load is supported by these two tensions. Okay, these two tension force, if we hold the string and we lift this up like this, we can see that this load is lifted up by these two forces, T and T. But since one side is fixed, so we will only apply from one side. So that means our load is equal to T plus T, that means 2T. But the effort that we are applying is only is equal to T. Why only is equal to T? Because one end is fixed over here, so we don't have to pull it from this side. So only this much force we have to apply as effort. Alright. So after this, if we find the mechanical advantage, we will see that mechanical advantage is equal to load by effort. So that means load is how much? 2T and effort is T. T and T gets cancelled. How much we are getting? We are getting the mechanical advantage as 2. Alright. So that means what we can understand from here is that from here we can understand if the mechanical advantage is 2, that means it will multiply our force by 2 times. That means if we, from this side, if we apply a force of 20 Newton, then we can lift a load of 40 Newton. Okay, or we can say it like this also. If there is a load of 100 Newton over here, we can lift up this load with just a force of 50 Newton. Why is that? Because the mechanical advantage of a single movable pulley is 2. Okay, so it will just multiply our force 2 times. Okay, means half of the weight we have to apply as force to lift the particular thing. Okay, so now let us try to understand about the velocity ratio. So what is the velocity ratio now? Let us try to understand. That is distance moved by effort divided by distance moved by load. Now here is one thing that you need to understand, and that is, if we are lifting this thing by 2 meters, this is only getting lifted by 1 meter. Okay, that means this is half over here. When this goes up by 2 meters, this goes up by 1 meter. Alright, so that means what we can see, distance moved by effort is equal to 2d, then distance moved by load will be just d. So that is the velocity ratio. Also we are getting as how much? 2. Alright, so because of this we can find the efficiency now, that is mechanical advantage by velocity ratio. So 2 by 2 on cancellation, how much we are getting? On cancellation we are getting 1 into 100, that is 100% efficiency. Alright, so this was all about the single movable pulley. I hope you understood this one. Alright, now let us proceed to the next part, that is combination of pulleys. How we will combine a single fixed pulley and a single movable pulley. Alright, so this is how the diagram will look. Let me do it for you. Okay, this is the platform. So from here one pulley will be there like this. Okay, and one pulley will be there like this, which is the fixed pulley. Alright, now how the thread will come, one thread will go like this. Here we will put the load. Alright, so from here it will go like this, and to this end it will go. Alright, and from here the string will come out as the effort. Alright, so this is the tension over here, and this tension is equal to this tension. Alright, so this is how we are using single movable pulley and single fixed pulley together. Alright, so there are numericals based on this which you can go through. Okay, so next is the next kind of machine, that is, let me discuss that too. The next kind of machine is known as wheel and axle. Okay, now let's try to understand what is wheel and axle. Anything which looks like this, having a wheel like this and a rod coming out of it, is known as wheel and axle. This is called the wheel and this is called the axle. Okay, so how does it help or how does it work as a simple machine? Let's try to understand it. To open the nut and all, you all might have seen this kind of tool, right? Which looks somewhat like this. From here we are putting the nut over here to open it. Right? We are just holding it, we are putting it and we are rotating. So this thing works as a wheel and this thing is the axle. So what happens, we can apply a greater amount of force in just a small point location, okay, or just a small convenient point. We can apply a greater amount of force with the help of the wheel. Okay, you can also understand this with the help of that the steering wheels of the cars. Okay, the steering wheel looks like this. Okay, we are just holding it like this and we are rotating the cars. If you will see that from the steering wheels, a rod has gone inside which is connected to the wheels of the car. Okay, so with the help of this we can just turn it and we are able to find out that just by rotating this we can multiply our power or multiply our force as to move the wheels of the vehicle. Is it clear? So this is only the application of wheel and axle. Alright, now we must understand about the maintenance of machines. So a machine should be protected against dust, dirt and water. Okay, you cannot put it in the water or in the dust areas simply. The machine should be painted from outside to prevent rusting. Now, rusting should not be there in the machines, otherwise the machine will not work properly. Alright. So the machine should be lubricated, oiled from time to time. It should be greased and oiled from time to time, otherwise it will be jammed and it will not work properly. Okay, so that's all with this chapter, and then we will do the exercises. Thank you.